I mean, I was a backup quarterback on an 0-8 freshman high school team. I didn't even play. You know, we didn't win a game, and I couldn't even get on the field. You know, I was kind of a late bloomer, recruited to Michigan late, started as a 7th quarterback. You know, had to work really hard to even play. You know, thought, oh man, I'll make being pro football. Got drafted in the 6th round. You know, no one thought I'd make the team.
So that drives you.
You know, yeah, it still does. I mean, I think now it's like, wait a minute, now you guys want me to stop playing? No, this is when I'm having fun. You know, now is the time where I get to do, you know, really enjoy it. I always had a lot of belief in myself, and I always tell a lot of young quarterbacks, you don't believe in yourself. Why do you think those guys who are looking at you are going to believe in you? You know, when you step in that huddle, they better look at you and go, man, that guy's ready to get the job done. Because if they don't see that, then they're going to start questioning, oh my God, I don't think that guy can get the job done. So you got to believe in what you know, who you are, what you do, what you bring to the team. And then if you do that, you know, they're going to feed off that as well.
When I was at Michigan, the college I went to, there was a equipment, the head of our equipment room, his name was John Falk. He always told me, and he had won a lot of Big Ten championships at the time, I think 18 or 19. And he always say, Brady, you know which ring is my favorite one? And I said, which one, Big Johnny? And he'd say, the next one. The next one. And for me, it's the next one. Yeah, it was a lot of great conversations we got a chance to have in our locker rooms, in our meeting rooms. You know, I have a lot of friends that I've played with, and everyone's from different backgrounds. Everyone's from different parts of the country. Everyone has different stories, and you got to have respect for everybody. You know, you got to have respect for everybody's opinion, and you know the way that they, you know, want to present themselves and the opportunity that they have to, you know, make a difference. I mean, again, we all have an opportunity to make a difference in our own way, and people are going to use those opportunities how they see fit, and you got to have respect for them. And look, they got to have respect for you. And I think part of having conversations to understand why people are doing what they're doing. And sports for me has been the most unifying part of my life. I mean, like I said, I go to different countries. I play, you know, with people from all over the country. It's the most, brings us together. And we shouldn't forget that we're being brought together to do something that's very pure, to do something that's very fun. And people are, you know, they want to show up and they want to watch us do something great. And we should never, you know, never forget that. We're, you know, we play football. I know we're not curing cancer, but we do provide, in my view, great entertainment for people.
This program's about dedication and hard work and persevering. And I think that's why we're successful as a team, because each guy fights their own battles and they win their own battles. And, you know, whether it be grades or whether it be being away from home or, you know, competition of all sorts, it always takes place. But learning to overcome those, that's what makes you a good football player and a good person. And that's why what makes, you know, Michigan football such a great place.
You know, it was great. She's been through a lot. You know, way harder than what I went through last night, way harder than what our team went through last night. And my dad's been there every step of the way. So they set such a great example for me, you know, and, you know, all families go through challenging times personally, but, you know, she has a lot of support and a lot of love, and I was just happy last night to be able to celebrate with her. And, you know, she hadn't been to a game all year, so what a hell of a game for her to be at. And you know, it was really great. It was great to celebrate. My sisters were there, my wife, I had all my kids, my little girl was there. And yeah, so it'll be nice to go home and spend some time with them. They haven't had their dad around very much lately. So it'll be nice to, you know, go home and be a dad for a little bit.
When I was a boy growing up in California, I rooted for these teams, and it was everything. I wore the jerseys. I, you know, if I was lucky enough to go to the game, I went to the games and I cheered so hard. And whether, you know, when the San Francisco 49ers won on a weekend, it made my weekend. And it was just, you know, I could see.
And why did it make your weekend? Because?
Well, it just evoked a lot of joy. You know, it took you from, you know, as a kid, I mean, everything's joyful. There's, you know, for the most part, you know, as an adult, you know, I could see how people work so hard over the course of the week, and they just can't wait to get to the weekend to relax and to sit in front of a, you know, TV with friends and have this social event, and by the way, have a game on, you get to cheer for them.
And kind of live vicariously through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then keep scoring and call your friend in some other city and say, we got you, you know. You know, I think everyone gets to participate, and it's, you know, thank God for sports.
Yeah. I have to say that I recently watched your documentary, Tom versus Time, on Facebook. Couldn't believe that you, Mr. Private, and Giselle, Mrs. Private,
Yeah.
that you opened up your life and your home that way.
Yeah.
And has it been interesting, fascinating, fun? What has it shown you about yourself?
Yeah.
Looking at your life that way.
I love the experience, and I think that it's, life is about stretching, and being outside your comfort zone. And
Why'd you decide to do it?
I think it was just good timing. And I felt like it would be nice to share with the fans more of what my life was all about.
Because that's what everybody wants to know.
Yeah, well, it's so focused, for me, it's always been, you see me through the lens of what, you want to see a professional athlete as.
Yeah.
But professional athletes are a lot of other things too.
They're people, they're dads.
Yeah, they're dads, and their husbands, and they're, you're dealing with life as you go through your career like everyone else. And
I actually was moved by something I heard you say on one of the episodes. You said, spirituality is my deepest purpose. I want to know the whys of life, and I want to know why we're here and where we're going.
Yeah.
And I thought, gee,
yeah.
I watching you play football, I wouldn't have thought of you as a spiritual person, or that spirituality was a kind of thing you were seeking or conscious about.
Yeah.
But spirituality is your purpose. What do you mean by that?
Well, I think I have, curiosities in many ways, and I think a lot of it is learning and loving to learn. And I think since I was a kid, just loving the experience of learning new things, learning how they impact my life, learning how they impact my relationships. My wife would say we're spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yes.
And
that's one of my favorite phrases.
I know, it's great, and it's so true, and it's. I want to live a great, impactful, purposeful life, and I want to impact people from the lessons that I've learned, and see if people can learn anything and try to, relate it in their life some way.
What's interesting, when I was reading the TB12 method, how to achieve a lifetime of sustained peak performance, according to Tom Brady. What fascinated me about this book that I know, bestseller, is that it seemed like your approach feels like another way. I actually thought it was refreshing. It feels like, I said to the producers, it feels like a different time where people worked hard, they tried, there was discipline, there was effort put into making yourself better, improving your skills, improving your skills, improving your skills, which is what you talk about in this. And I think a lot of people, even people that I know very well, thought, oh, gee, you've won all these Super Bowls, that this came easy for you, but it did not.
I get that a lot too, because, I think they would see me now as an older athlete and think, wow, this is just, you got to be this, certain athlete who had the success in the career. And my version of myself is very different, based on my life experiences and based on all the things that have allowed me to...
No, not just this athlete. An athlete who's had 5 Super Bowl championships is defined as the greatest athlete in the world of all time,
Yeah.
So...
But I think it's those, experiences that you have that become a part of who you are.
Yeah.
And the hardest experiences, because it was never, I would say, given to me. There were opportunities presented to me, but it wasn't like, I think in some ways we're doing disservice to the kids today. There's so much attention on these kids as, high school athletes, as college athletes. Now there was just, these guys are getting picked for the NFL draft, and they make it seem like they've done something in a way, and they haven't.
And they haven't.
They've just started.
Yeah. When you're called the greatest quarterback of all time by just about every sports writer, can you allow yourself to internally interpret what that means to be the best quarterback of all time?
I don't like it. I don't
don't?
like when people say it.
And you don't like that?
No, I don't like it at all.
Why?
I don't feel that way. I'm not attached to that feeling. I don't care whether people think that or not. I want to be the best I can be. I know when I go out there, it's not to compare myself to this guy or that guy. It's everyone's good. Everyone plays good.
But you say, even at the very beginning of the book, I think when you first went to Michigan, you wanted to compete, you want a competitor, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing there. So as a person who loves to compete as much as you do, and loves you get a thrill out of actually the competition, it must feel particularly good to then be considered the very best.
Yeah, I still feel like I'm in it. I still feel like I'm doing it. I still feel like there's still more to be